Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the LifePoint video podcast. Here with me is Aleah, our worship leader. And we decided to do a quick impromptu podcast about recruiting for the worship band.
Right.
Because we could use that, right?
All the time.
What's happening in the worship band as far as our scheduling? Are you finding that we have some gaps in the band somewhere?
Oh, yeah. There's gaps everywhere. We always need people, always need instrumentalists, vocalists, tech people, anybody who has a creative skill to play an instrument, to sing, to worship. We need everybody.
Yeah, I think there's probably a sense that people have. I remember when I was, probably in my 20s and I played guitar and I kind of played the bass a little bit, but I wasn't sure if I was really good or not.
Right.
I remember thinking, I would like to be on stage, but I don't know how to approach somebody about it. What would you say to somebody if it's like they have some talent, but they don't know where to go?
I would say communication from stage is a big factor. So first of all, people need to know that there's a need.
Right.
So we communicate that there's a need. And let's say we haven't communicated that in a while and somebody wants to serve.
I would think, to be honest, it seems like we haven't communicated that very well. I mean, That's not like on you, like,
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, I can't think of a time where we said, hey, by the way, everybody.
Right.
We don't have a bass player up here, as you might have noticed.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good question. How would you, if you're somebody who plays an instrument or you want to be involved, how do you approach the worship leader?
Yeah.
I would assume that I'm an approachable person. I guess I would just expect that person to come and talk to me, but maybe that's not what everybody wants to do.
Yeah. Well, I think you probably don't realize this about yourself, but that's pretty intimidating probably for people to do. Like, oh, she plays the guitar, she plays the piano, she sings. I'm going to walk up there and go, hey, I need to be in your band. Right?
That is exactly what I want. I want everybody to come to me and say, I want to be here.
What you need is...
That's the goal.
Yeah, you want people to be... You want them to feel like they could actually be that bold.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening out there, if you play an instrument, then yeah, just walk up there and go, I want to be in the band.
Or to anybody that's on the team, because they'll communicate with me right away.
Yeah,
they'll say, hey, so-and-so's interested. We also have forms online where if you're not someone who you want to talk in person, which it would be kind of shocking because if you're on stage, you probably don't have that problem.
Yeah,
you're not
true.
too shy.
That's true.
But some people, you never know.
Yeah.
But we have the form online, the creative arts form, and you can go out and you can go in there and fill out the form, and there's questions it'll ask you, and that gets back to me, and so that lets me know, who plays what the experiment or your experiences with whatever you play, or
yeah. I'll link that.
Yeah.
Like down underneath the video. So now what positions are open? Like which are the most critical that we need?
Keyboard player. So I am huge into worship keys, and that's not something that you can just find from anybody. So I'm really looking for somebody who has a passion to play the keyboard in a way that is atmospheric and just can play along with the team and the style of music that we're playing. Because I think what I have found is I have found a lot of people that love to play the piano, but are unable to really play chords, or it has a difficulty playing the style that we play in.
You're saying they can play piano music, but I just need you to play a G suspended chord, inverted
G2,
or whatever,
4,
and it's just. But really, that's kind of easier than actually playing the keyboard.
And something that I want to mention is there's always room to grow. So I'm not looking for people who are professionals by any means. I would love to take anybody who's actually even willing to learn, put them on, show up for rehearsals, play in rehearsals, and maybe stand off on Sundays for a little bit, come to the Thursday night rehearsals at 6:30, and just learn how to be one with the team, learn how to maybe have an in-ear monitor in because we play with the click and tracks and whatnot, and maybe just get to feel like what that feels like and how to a lot of people haven't played in a band, You know, like being at a church and playing in a band, that's kind of like a very different.
So you're saying you could be like, okay, maybe you don't know if you're quite ready for it yet.
Right.
You could come to worship. We used to call that like be a shadow player.
Yeah.
They're just kind of playing for the rehearsal, not really ready for Sunday yet or whatever. So that's okay.
Yeah. And I love to teach. I will teach anybody.
Yeah. Well, I think if you play the piano and you can read notes, then you can teach somebody how to sort of block these chords out. And for the most part, there aren't a lot of parts that are sort of like, okay, we're going to do just a piano and a vocal. Probably you're doing those anyway.
Right.
What about other spots? What else in the band?
Electric guitar players, rhythm, lead electrics, drummers, bass players, really just any position.
Okay, so basically all of them.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, keyboard players. Bass players, we only have one or two.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Yeah.
We have one.
Boom, boom. I'm going to learn now.
Bass is not hard to play.
I'll lead from the bass.
If you play the guitar,
play some bar chords with my acoustic, maybe.
You could do that. You know, there are some.
First worship leader in America who doesn't play bar chords.
I'm sure you're not the first.
I know.
It's actually a sad reality. You need to learn how to play bar chords.
Would you still have hired me if you knew I didn't know how to play bar chords?
No. I would have made you learn them first. I would have said, you can't play a bar chord. For those of you that are watching, you don't know what a bar chord is. But basically, it allows you as a guitar player to play any chord without a capo. And there's nothing wrong with a capo. Sometimes you need a capo.
Oh, the capo is a dream come true.
It's not like you're cheating. Everybody thinks that. No, there are some keys the guitar's not meant to be played in.
Yeah.
Like F sharp, for example.
Like E and F and B.
Well, no, the guitar is designed to be played in E and A and D, but not F. Anyway, that's a different story. But let's talk for a second about the worship band experience isn't just about music. Because if it was only about music, you could just go find anybody and go, listen, I need you to play these chords. What are you looking for in terms of the spiritual aspect of somebody to be a part of the band?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Thank you. Thank you for that good question.
My passion is showing not just the congregation, but my team that being a part of a group of people who can spiritually be in unison together is more important than the music at all.
Yeah.
Like 80% of my job is not music, it's ministry and teaching and being in prayer and scripture. And when I'm with the team, every single time we're together, we're in prayer. And I think it allows our worship on Sunday to be in one. And that just puts the whole picture together, because what we're doing is we're not just here to serve you or the congregation or the church or just anybody. We're here to be a force for the kingdom. We're here to show people who Christ is. Right. We're here to encourage others when they've, not had the best week, or maybe you've had a great week. We want to find that balance between, we want to do great musically, but we also want to lead people to a place where they can be vulnerable and they can feel comfortable with the Lord. And I think that's very important, but that starts with the team. That starts with me. That starts on Thursdays throughout the week. That starts, with the team first and foremost.
Basically, you can't lead people in worship if the worship band isn't worshiping, like truly worshiping. If they're just playing notes.
Right. But also knowing that God is sovereign and he's so graceful that, there are some times where people on the team have also had a tough week. And me too. Yeah. I'm sure you've had to preach some Sundays and it's like, ooh, I'm just in a funk today. Yeah. I've had many Sunday mornings where, I think it's something in our culture. It's like, everyone just assumes that everybody on stage is having the best time of their life. Right. But in reality, there are some weeks where it's very tough and, it's sometimes you space out and whatnot. But God is thank God that he's in control and we're not. Yeah. Because he's the one that is in control and he's the one putting everything together and he's the one putting things in order. And I'm just helping steward what he's already doing.
Well, let me clarify. I don't mean that everybody on the stage has had some kind of mountaintop spiritual experience. What I mean is there's an honesty to the worship, which might be the vulnerability that's going on with, like, I'm not having a good week. But what I'm saying is what you're shooting for in order to help the audience worship is that the band is worshiping wherever they're at.
Absolutely.
Versus just like, oh, we're just like these hired guns. We play the notes and then we get off stage.
Yeah.
We're not involved with the life of the church. Like, the best worship band for a church of our size is they go to our church. They're involved in everybody's lives. People know them on stage because we're not a big church.
We genuinely care about where people are spiritually in their life.
Yeah.
You know?
That would be the goal.
Yeah.
But so basically, we're looking for people. We could be different sets of abilities, maybe. I mean, obviously, there's a minimum. Like, if you're going to play the guitar, you need to be able to play the guitar.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a professional,
Right?
but you got to have some level. But I think it would be interesting. We are open to people saying, "Well, I'm not the greatest, but let me see where I'm at," and then maybe you could start right away, or maybe you say, "Well, let's do 6 months as a shadow player."
We really are looking for people who want to be involved in this community, in this church.
Yeah,
because we want to grow together.
Yeah,
it's nice to have instrumentalists who, and band members who want to, come every once in a while and just kind of be a part of it because it's fun for them, and maybe they attend a different church, which is fine.
We have a little bit of that, yeah.
We do, and that's totally okay. Praise God for those people. But, really looking for people who can come together with us and be a part of this community so that we can all grow together as a whole team.
What about tech? I know there's somebody who's like, man, I love music. I don't play the piano. I play the stereo. That's their instrument.
There's always positions available.
We have really only one person that's running
front
sound. Front of house sound.
Right.
And then we have 2 running our online. So we could use people who want to mix. And we can teach you a ton about that too.
And we have a good system to learn as well.
Oh, yeah, it's really high tech.
Yeah, very high tech.
Very high tech.
Very
It's
fun.
All digital. A lot of, one of the things about it people don't realize probably is, we can, in the digital world, we can get everything sort of set and then save it so that next time you come back up, you just pull that same thing up. If you spent, 30 minutes mixing the drums, you just save that and then you can pull it back up. So there's a lot of technology.
Yeah.
But anybody who's even interested, if they've got just a kind of a love for music, they could try it out.
Absolutely.
What are the requirements as far as practice and, being at church, what times, all that kind of stuff?
Requirements are 6:30 on Thursday nights. Sunday mornings, we meet at 7:45 in the morning.
Okay.
Service is at 10.
Yeah.
And with just one service.
Easy. It used to be 2 services.
And we have so much fun doing it.
Yeah, that's not too, if you think about it from a volunteer standpoint, that's 2 hours on a Thursday evening and 3 hours on a well, no, it's more than 3 hours. It's 4.5-ish hours on a Sunday. But you don't have to serve every Sunday.
No.
You could serve once or twice.
Twice,
yeah. So why don't we give everybody your information? What's your email address? We'll put it on the screen here.
Email address is aleah@lifepointchurch.com. And if you want, you can text me. Phone's always available.
Yeah, we're not going to put that on the thing, but you can.
Any
you
singles out there? Here's my digits.
Not on YouTube. Probably not a good idea. That's a podcast. That's a topic for another podcast.
Single worship leader.
SingleWorshipLeader.com. It's a new worship podcast that Aleah's going to put out. Wonder if that's available. Should check that on GoDaddy.
That's funny.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on the podcast.
You're very welcome.
And
Thanks
we got
for
our
having
next
me.
podcast guest coming in right now. So we'll see you guys all later.